Hey guys, what's going on? This is T-Carp or Travis, and we are going to be reading again The Truth Denied, my dad's book, The Sasquatch DNA Study. This is by my dad, Scott Carpenter. This is his rendition of the Sasquatch DNA Study, and you can look that up and we'll talk about that. And you can also pick this book up on Amazon if you'd like, and it's pretty readily available. So you just look up The Truth Denied and should be easily able to find it. Anyway, we're going to start reading chapter 5, okay? This is a long chapter. In this chapter, we're going to talk about the very controversial, the Sierra Kills. The Sierra Kills, if you don't know, was a reported Justin Smeja reportedly killed a Bigfoot and a juvenile Bigfoot. We're going to get into that today. So this is a long one. We're going to do probably multiple readings. I'll be in multiple settings, but anyway, here we go. In October of 2010, an event happened that would rock the collective Bigfoot research world. A bear hunter named Justin Smeja would shoot 2 purported Bigfoot, 1 adult, a male, along with 1 juvenile. Over time, there has been various versions of the shooting. Justin, in my opinion, was afraid of possible legal consequences. Therefore, he was vague, even misleading on the details of the location of the shooting. Through research of many radio, video, and TV show appearances, here are the basic facts of the event. Justin and the driver of the vehicle observed a Bigfoot standing in a small meadow approximately 80 yards from the road. The driver pulled over. Justin opened his door and aimed his rifle at the Bigfoot. The driver opened his door and looked at the Bigfoot. The driver told Justin not to shoot. It was not a bear, that it was in fact a Bigfoot. The Bigfoot was waving its hands above its head, almost as if to say, "Don't shoot." Justin shot the Bigfoot in the chest. The Bigfoot went down, then was able to stand up and retreat through the brush. Justin and the driver watched the wounded Bigfoot run into the thick forest. Justin and the driver went over to the area where the Bigfoot was shot to investigate. While investigating, 2 infant Bigfoot emerged from the woods. Justin shot one of the infants. He explained his motives as being fearful, but in a later interview, he said it was hunter bloodlust. Reputable sources have given conflicting accounts of what happened to the bodies. Justin and Randles maintain that Justin hid the body of the infant, returning a week later to find a hunk of flesh. Other reputable sources maintain that the infant Bigfoot along with the adult Bigfoot were found. Justin cut large pieces of flesh from each body, hiding them in his home or at an unknown location. One confidential source contends that the adult Bigfoot was only wounded, never being found, but the dead infant was taken. It was not hidden and left behind at the site as claimed by Justin. The motives for these conflicting accounts center around the belief that Justin could possibly be prosecuted for murder. During the time of the shooting, and the ongoing DNA testing results were not public. Leaks did come out of the Sasquatch Genome Project in the early months of 2011, reporting that Bigfoot could possibly be a human hybrid. I am also aware that Dr. Ketchum told Justin that the DNA testing was indicating that Bigfoot was a human hybrid. The Bigfoots were killed in California. The prosecutors in this state have a reputation of being liberal, championing, among several issues, animal rights. Justin, along with several of his close friends, feared that an ambitious prosecutor could attempt to charge him with manslaughter. In my opinion, this was a legitimate fear given and admitted circumstances of the killing callous and in cold blood. In addition to the possible manslaughter charges, if Justin possessed a Bigfoot body that he shot, he would be in violation of California game laws, Article 1, Section 4150, defamation of non-game animals, possession and taking states. A mammal occurring naturally in California that is not a game mammal, fully protected mammal, or fur-bearing mammal is a non-game mammal. A non-game mammal may not be taken or possessed except as provided in this code or in accordance with regulations adopted by the Commission. So, even if Justin would have not been charged with manslaughter, he was still in violation of the law for killing and possibly possessing a non-game mammal. Being aware that even though the account sounds bizarre, I am, however, convinced it is true. Though I do not know what happened to the bodies, I am confident 2 Sasquatch, an adult and a juvenile, were shot. The adult was wounded and the body never found. The juvenile was killed. The main reasons for my conclusions. When the flesh from the kills was tested, the DNA was consistent with the other Bigfoot samples already in the Sasquatch Genome Project. Verification of Justin's shooting account by Derek Randles, including other third-party close friends and associates. I think it's important for the reader to have all the information concerning this event. The flesh was an important piece of evidence in the Sasquatch Genome Study. The incident was also used in an attempt to discredit the Sasquatch Genome Project and destroy Dr. Ketchum's reputation. In my opinion, the study of this event will give the reader one of the best examples of the extreme dishonest measures people were willing to take in order to discredit the study, to include destroying the personal and professional reputation of Dr. Ketchum. The following are excerpts of the statements, interviews from Derek Randles, a friend known as the Bear Hunter, and Justin, the blogger. Robert Lindsay conducted the interviews of the Bear Hunter along with Justin. So this is an interview of the Derek Randles kind of statement, published July 16th of 2011. So here's this. Note, Hunter 1 was later identified as Justin. So this incident occurred in October of 2010 in Northern California. The persons involved will be known as Hunter 1 and Hunter 2. Hunter 1 is the shooter. Hunter 2 was driving the vehicle. While driving down a dirt road looking for bear, Hunter 1 and Hunter 2 were noticing large piles of feces along their route. It's also important to note that they were legally hunting with appropriate bear tags in a legal hunting area. As the truck came around the corner, they both noticed a large hair-covered figure standing approximately 80 to 100 yards in a meadow off to the side of the road. The figure was standing on 2 legs with its arms above its head. It took roughly 8 to 10 steps toward the vehicle. The arms were moving a little either because it was walking or it was intentionally swaying them. It was dirty gray in color and with some black mixed in. The figure was very large. Hunter 1 decided it had to be a black bear. It was completely hair covered, and from that distance, good definition was impossible. Hunter 1 got out of the truck and leaned against the door, aiming his rifle at the figure. He does admit that it looked strange, but in his mind, it had to be a bear. He did not believe in Bigfoot at the time. Hunter 2 was now looking at the figure and said, "I'm not sure that's a bear." The shot was fired, hitting its mark in the chest region. The figure went down, it got back up immediately and started. A short time later, they were very sure that they heard a crash into the bush. They exited the truck and started across the meadow, still wondering what had happened. When they reached the spot where the 2 were standing, They noticed movement in the nearby brush. Two small figures appeared from the brush and started circling around the person. Hunter one started to get the feeling that he might be attacked. He made a quick decision, turned, and fired. The figure went down, rolled right down to Hunter one's location. He lifted it up and then placed it in the brush. Then they decided that they needed to leave, and leave now. I, Derek Randles, was put in touch with the hunters about 2 weeks later. I interviewed them both by phone extensively and separately. I found that their story matched perfectly with no inconsistencies. I could also tell that they were natural and not rehearsed. Consequently, I've spent many hours talking with Hunter 1 about all aspects of the story, and I completely believed him. I then urged Hunter 1 to return to the site and look around for any evidence from the incident. Upon returning, they were greeted with roughly 2 feet of snow. The little one was not found. They concentrated their efforts in the area where they thought they heard the large ones go down. After digging through the snow for many hours, they were able to find a piece of flesh, greasy fat, and hair, but no body. The flesh and hair matched the color of the larger one exactly, white-gray hair with some black in it. Then I asked him to forward a small piece of flesh to Dr. Ketchum to have it analyzed for the current Sasquatch Genome Study she's involved in. I cannot speak to the results at the time due to the NDA I've signed, but I will say that I 100% believe the story. Updates on this story will be available on the website, and the story in its entirety will be told by Hunter 1 when the time is right. Thank you, Derek Randles. So that was Derek Randles' statement. So in the next one, we're going to go ahead and read the bear hunter interview by Robert Lindsay. The bear hunter interview by Robert Lindsay, published June 27th, 2011. Note, the person referred to the hunter in this interview has been identified as Justin. Robert Lindsay: Hi, what made you decide to get in touch with me? Justin: Well, I read your article where you interviewed Richard Substad, and I thought, wow, this guy's hot on the trail. He's really close. He's closing in. So I decided to fill in some blanks for you. Robert Lindsay: Is there a reason why you decided to spill the beans on this hot news to me just now? Justin: Yes, I am getting very impatient with the pace of the project. You know, it's always coming out this year, then next year, then this year again, then next year again, then this spring. I'm getting tired of it, and I want to jumpstart this project and tell them to get along with it and just finish it up. Robert Lindsay: How was it that the Bigfoot came to be shot, and where were they killed? Justin: In November of 2010, Justin was hunting on the border between Nevada and California, just near a game refuge. The guy was on the road when he came upon a large, dirty white, Robert Lindsay, supposedly female, Bigfoot standing in the road. The Bigfoot was standing there waving her arms at him. I thought maybe she was telling the hunter to back up so the Bigfoot could move through, since the Bigfoot was just stuck on the road. No? The guy stopped his truck and jumped out. He knew it was a Bigfoot, but he thought she was threatening him. The Bigfoot knew his intentions by now, and she started to run away. He shot her with a .25-06. He shot her through the side of her chest, piercing her lungs. The Bigfoot took off into the brush, but he heard her crash down. Next thing he knew, he heard barking sounds coming from the side of the road. There were 2 young Bigfoots there that popped up out of nowhere. They were brown colored. The hunter shot one of the young Bigfoots dead. He's an idiot, right? It died in his arms, 4 feet tall, 80 pounds. He said it had a huge head And then I knew it was a young Bigfoot because the young ones have gigantic heads while they are still young. The head is more normal sized as they get older. Remember that pancake video from the Kentucky Project where the young Bigfoot has a huge head and that everyone was saying was a human with some birth defects? Well, that is what they look like when they are young. Robert Lindsay. Why did he shoot an adult Bigfoot? He says he thought it was a bear. No, BH is going to stand for bear hunter. No, he knew what it was because of the color. Bears don't come in off-white. Anyone knows that. He shot it because he thought it was threatening him. Robert Lindsay, we're going to say RL. RL, why did he shoot the juvenile Bigfoot? He says it got up on an outcrop and was threatening him. Bear hunter, no, that's not true. Why did he shoot it? He's that kind of guy. I know a lot of hunters. Most are good people, but some are not. There's a lot of guys like him out there hunting. People shooting things just because they can, just to kill them. That's why he did it. He did it because that's the kind of person he is. RL, what did he do with the Bigfoots? BH, he told us that he left them lying there. There was snow on the ground, so we figured there might still be enough time to go in and get the bodies. Pretty soon we decided that the guy was probably lying. We thought he probably took the bodies because taxidermists are hoarders. They never leave anything they shoot in the field. RL. The Olympic Project says they went back to the site over 2 weeks later and found a bit of flesh on the ground left over from the shooting. They used this bit of flesh to slice up and submit to the DNA Project. Bear hunter, no, they told me they never went back there. RL, what happened to the dead Bigfoots? BH, well, we put the hunter, Justin, in contact with the Olympic Project that was working on the Bigfoots in Washington State. We didn't hear much for a while, only that the Olympic Project folks kept saying, we are just trying to keep Justin out of jail. The hunter, Justin, was convinced that if California figured out he shot these two Bigfoots, he was going to jail. He was really afraid of going to jail. BH, Moneymaker and the BFRO were in on this too. It was a mad rush for the bodies. We didn't hear much more for a while until the Olympic Project started to send samples to Melba Ketchum for her DNA project as a part of the Erickson Project. Some of the samples that EP was getting were tissue, and they looked like they were carved off of a dead body. RL, one sample appeared to be carved off of the thigh of a human or hominid cadaver. Dr. Ketchum was so freaked out by the sample that she called people up asking them to hold it for her in case the police came to her lab because she was afraid of going to jail. RL, who has the Bigfoots, the hunter or the Olympic Project? BH, I think that the hunter, Justin, still has the bodies, or he has parts of the bodies. Maybe he cut them off before he left. If he has the bodies, he has probably cut them up, cut off the heads, and then has them on ice. They can last a long time like that. I don't think the Olympic Project has the bodies. We did a lot more digging, and we found that now the hunter is associated deeply with the OP. He's part of their project. The OP is not admitting to anything. They deny it all. They say they have no dead Bigfoots and they don't have access to any. RL, this is incredible news. BH, yes, there's more too. Notice how the Olympic Project is all over the internet boards talking about how they have enough Bigfoot samples to last for years. Guess why they say that? Probably because they have access to two dead Bigfoot bodies. Think about it. All right, guys, and that's going to be the end of the first verse, or the first part of that chapter of the Sierra Kills. Again, we're reading The Truth Denied. This chapter is going to be long, guys, and I think what we're setting up here is that Justin is just not an amazing guy. I think it's going to come out that he's going to change his story several times. I do think that, you know, again, this is me talking. I do think that what we see is a guy trying to stay out of jail. Like that's what we're doing here. And and to be honest with you guys, I think that that's why we're setting these up, and that's why we're doing these interviews. So, but anyway, that was the first part of chapter 5. We're gonna maybe do a second part, but we may do even a third part because this is a longer chapter, but this is important background information that you guys need to know. Again, thank you for watching. If you'd like to contact me, you can at tcarp or tcarp1616@yahoo.com. You can get in touch with me there. If you'd like to buy the book, you still can on Amazon. Or if you'd like to just read along with me, I'd greatly appreciate that. So we put out these videos. We try to put them out every Sunday at 8 p.m. We do a live. I try to hang out in the live chat with you a little bit if I can. But guys, I just really appreciate you all, and y'all have a great day.